Hey, it's your CEO, Weekend Gabe, and thanks for watching Weekend at Gabe's. We hope that you enjoyed this latest episode. While you're here, hit the subscribe button and follow us on YouTube. Thanks for watching. All right, in the green room is a friend of the show, Jeff Koons. But first, let's talk a little bit about this AI art that's going out there and play a clip from one Guillermo del Toro who weighs in on the new controversy.
I consume and love art made by humans. I am completely moved by that. And I am not interested in illustration made by machines and the extrapolation of information. I talked to Dave McKean, which is a great artist, and he told me his greatest hope is that AI cannot draw. It can interpolate information, but it cannot draw. It can never capture a feeling or a countenance or the softness of a human face, you know? So I think it certainly, if that conversation was being had about film, it would hurt deeply, and I would think it, as Miyazaki says, an insult to life itself.
Yeah, so Guillermo del Toro hoping it does not develop a drawing skill.
Hey, go off, Guillermo, but them AI movies is coming. They might not be, full on 3-hour long Guillermo del Toro flicks, but the AI Quibi is around the corner, my friend.
The future has arrived. All right, joining us now, friend of the show, two-time returning champion, Jeff Koons, here on Weekend at Game. Good evening. How are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Hey, amazing. The vibe set up. We love that. We love that.
You know, I had to do it for you. I had to set up the vibe. I had to go to the studio. Shout out to my lady. She got the lighting right for me. You know what I'm saying? My lighting was all bad. But
this is definitely what Christmas with Jeff looks like. You know?
Yes.
Oh man.
Christmas with Koons. Yeah.
This definitely has that laid back end of the year reflective. Like, man, had the album out this year, got that workout this year. Now it's time to enjoy all the all that work and what's come from it.
Yes. This is the time of year where I really reflect on like everything that was done, everything that was accomplished, and what can be accomplished for next year. So I'll start my planning. Normally I do like a year. I plan my whole year out at the end of the last month of the year and have my key points. So I'll probably do that toward the end of the month, but the next couple of months I'm just relaxing, and also just tying up some loose ends, doing some artwork, and just relaxing with some family. So
hell yeah. Let's start there, man. You are the mural man.
Mural man.
One of my favorite ongoing internet trends. Let's just talk about your background as an artist. Let's start there, and all the things that came together to make Koons. When did you start learning to draw? When did you realize you had a talent for it?
So definitely it was something that I was born with, I would say. I would like to say that it was like a superpower that was passed down in my family. My father was an artist, is an artist. My brother's an artist. My cousin is an artist. Three of my father's brothers were artists. My great-great-grandfather was an artist. I come from a long line of artists. So I feel like the talent was passed down. So I've been doing it for a very long, like since I was 3 years old. It was really just since I could hold a pencil. I remember one of the things, I could be making this up, I don't know, but I feel like my mom told me that I was drawing pictures before I could like write.
Word.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Back in the room. Okay, so based on that, you feel like this is this gift that you not only use for yourself, but I've taken part in your Think and Paint as well, which is a fantastic experience. People should go do that. But present the case to me, Jeff. Why? How does this AI art make you feel first and foremost? And I feel like you have a negative opinion toward it. So why not AI art?
It's a disgrace. It's an absolute travesty. It's an abomination. And whoever made it, I think, should be put behind bars. And furthermore, I believe that they should be stoned, and also they should be put in an ocean far, far away, where we'll never see them again, chained to a ball that is chained to a bigger ball. That's how I feel. Real.
Why?
Like, if I'm being real, like it doesn't make me feel good. The AI art, it's when you're connected to not only a talent, but that talent is also connected to economic structure. That talent is connected to your livelihood. Every person can feel that feeling of robots coming in and taking your job. That's not just a worry in the art world. You know what I'm saying? Everybody worries about that in all different.
Even Guillermo del Toro. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, we all, like, it's a thing, So first of all, it's that, like, it's like, okay, there's the threat to my business. There's a threat to the way I eat, the way I take care of my people, the way I take care of myself. You know what I'm saying? All artists at a professional level, we literally live off what we can create with our two hands, and it's definitely a horrible feeling knowing that someone can get the quote unquote end result much quicker, faster, for a cheaper price, or just through a different means, when this structure has been around for centuries, millions, years. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have been creating art, being paid for their art for a very, very long time. Art is an essential part to human history. I work at the Art Institute, and I'm around all these old paintings. I'm around all these famous paintings that give so much of our history meaning. And I'm telling you, man, these pieces are worth millions, like millions, like, and they're from artists who are no longer alive. So my point being is, art is special in this realm, in this world. For some weird reason, we love that. You know what I'm saying? We love that. We love that we can do that with these. So when we see it done through a machine and copy, not created, copy, it's a stain. It doesn't feel good. I don't believe it will gain that strength, but it was just something that I saw. I had to speak on it. It was just ugly. Just How do y'all feel about it?
I feel that. Yeah,
the thing that about AI art and most anything that's computer or through the internet is that instant self gratification, right? You can spend those few dollars, see it, be entertained by it, share it out, and sort of get that get the return on likes and retweets or whatever, right? But it doesn't really change the opportunities I think that artists themselves still have, right? It's like we have fast food, but that didn't eliminate restaurants. So it just goes down about quality, I think, and the end of the day, right? And we're going to show some of the AI art that I ended up doing earlier today.
I knew you would upset Jeff by showing these images.
Listen, I got Jeff. I knew that this would upset you, that I would use money for this moment. So I got the least expensive option.
Ah,
The $4 option so that I didn't get more money than I needed to. So, but I think I think it's a good example for those who are just sort of wandering into this conversation to see it and what it means. But when you see the images, you'll see like the quality of it isn't fucking great, right? But that some of it is actually kind of enlightening and entertaining. And while I was telling Sam, I was like, I almost find an attraction to some of my own photos. But at the end of the day, it still feels to me as someone who's has seen art and experienced it, there's a lack of soul in it. And just looking at the portrait behind you, I can feel the soul coming out of that print or that painting. And that can't be replaced by AI art at the end of the day. So do you feel like despite sort of this competitive measure that is now entering into the stream of art and the world of art, that you guys aren't going to be removed at any time soon? You still need it.
I believe that. I believe that. And that's where like my worry kind of dissipates a bit. I was having a conversation with somebody I know, and that was his point. You know what I'm saying? Like that you can't replace the spirit or the soul that's put into artwork. You know what I'm saying? You know, for me, I feel that. Like I totally agree. I totally agree. And in the long run, maybe so that is the case, because I mean it's been the case so far as it relates to the evolution of art. However, I will add and I'll say the generations change over time. What we value changes over time. Our generation, the people who are 30 plus, 25 plus now are gonna value different things differently, I would say, going into the future. So a young buck coming up that's 12 years old right now, 10 years old, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what his value on art will be in 10 years. I don't know if he'll even be able to sense soul in art based on I'm not saying that this is a absolute. I'm just giving a scenario. You know what I'm saying? Just a little counter. Like Cause I feel you, because I agree with you. Like that's why I still do what I do and I'm gonna continue. But my only bit of thing is like comfortability creates a reality. You know what I'm saying? The more we get comfortable with something, the more of validity it damn near holds, even though that may not be the truth or the case. So over time, you know, the quickness or the speed, you know, may become the value versus the soul or the time that it takes to make something.
Right. And we've seen that in our generation with music as well, you know, because Gabe grew up with music in a very different context than maybe me or you did. And it's a good point you bring up about sort of the speed creating a reality. You know, I myself am always looking for new music every week. And it becomes like, you know, what is new and unique when it passes over this gaze? You know, like I put out the mix and the next week it's another mix. You know what I mean? Like the music comes on demand and you have all of it at your fingertips. And I think you touch on something very important, is that has created this reality that we live in now where, you know, you can garner these millions of streams and get paid $200 for it, you know, for the year, you know, like that's insane.
Yeah, no, like, so, and that touches on the value, you know, like it's all about value. And I think art has been valued so highly in the world, like just from a human perspective, the value on art is, some shit is like literally like not priceable because it's like priceless. You know what I'm saying? because of the historical correlation that art carries. Art is a part of his, like literally, we have created whole theories and essays and papers and religious documents and all types of world-changing events based off of art, like based off of old paintings from what they were trying to communicate, or the way that the world was being forced or colonized in certain ways in certain realms of the world, certain areas of the world. Art was a very, very important part in all of that. It played a big, big part. And I think that we have to be careful with like not disregard. We have to be careful with disregarding that, like, and how valuable that is. And I don't want the generation behind me, you know what I'm saying, to just devalue what is so important to our history. You know what I'm saying? But it's a possibility. It's a branch in the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's where we at, but
no, but you bring up a good point, and it is about the younger generation as far as the impact that we're talking about. You know, like I bring up music to say that, you know, there's AI music out there right now. And not only is there AI music out there right now, I like some of the AI music songs. You know, like,
Right.
you wish you didn't, but it kind of slaps. You know what I mean? But to me, that's like, you know, we're not talking about, like we just did the Christmas episode of Music Shots. We're not talking about Bing Crosby, who made all these, you know, crazy, great, legendary Christmas songs down the line. But how is this affecting the kids? You know, like, because I still have that context, but the kid who comes up and is like, damn, I like this, maybe that's their only thing they know. But I want to switch gears really quick and talk about what we are actually talking about. So the Lensa AI app that people are using, including Weekend Gabe. And Gabe, this might be a good time to throw up some photos here.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah, we got so damn, why did you lead with the one in which you are Asian? I don't know.
I think this was the example of like how imperfect
Right. So
it is.
I mean, let's just stay here right now because we're gonna get there. So basically, I think a lot of the discourse around this comes from a misunderstanding of what AI is, right? So AI is an artificial intelligence, and because it is that, it's an intelligence, it has to learn, right? And the only way for AI to learn, the only way for computers to learn, is to learn from a massive data set. So in the case of Lensa AI, they pull their stuff from this data set called Leon 5B. This is a data set you can pay for. You can go get that information, just like you can get all kinds of information on, I don't know, like stock trading for the last 30 years. You can get that in a big ass spreadsheet, all this stuff. They got these Leon 5B. It's called 5B because there's 5 billion images in there. And this is how they trained their AI. So you can see there's an obvious issue. One being the fact that Gabe is not from Hong Kong.
I got the Kim Jong Un joint
and I don't
right
know
there.
why they use the font from Turning Red in there too. Yeah. But I bring that up, and this is another part that we were talking about with this photo is like, I've seen this photo a million different times with a million different faces on it. Now that everybody has like shared it, yes, the obvious first step is Gabe is an astronaut. What does that do for things? Anyways, there's these obvious sex, gender, and race issues that happen with this technology. Gabe is not Asian, as we saw in the last one. We've talked about skin lightening on this show before. The promiscuous images of women when they put their face, just their face, into this app, and it puts them out with barely any clothes on. That sort of stuff is problematic here. But according to Lensa, that is because there are 5 billion images, and these are, you know, real images created by real artists, that this baseline, this average, right, is coming out to speak on society's biases as opposed to Lensa AI's biases. Now, you can choose whether or not to believe that information, but that is how they present it, is that there are societal biases and thus the AI is learning from those societal biases, those beauty standard biases,
So it's
to
our
create
fault.
these images.
It's our fault.
That's what the computer. I just wanted to have this conversation because I feel like somebody got to play devil's advocate here, and I don't know that I support this AI. Jesus, Gabe Chaplin on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one's going on his Tinder profile next week. Gabe
Yo. I think
Tony
this is the
Stark.
last one. This is the one where I would like I date myself. That this is the one that I'm like, yeah.
I mean, that's how you look down, man.
This is solid. This is definitely campaign material.
This is that's
Yeah.
I mean, I
Oh, there it is.
understand it, like, cause I was talking to another friend of mine, and cause I believe it or not, people, I guess, a few people care a little bit about what I have to say on my social media.
We care about what you had to say, Jeff. You know.
So yeah, thanks. But no,
Sorry, I'm trying to get this right.
good. So yeah, I posted that, and I got a lot of people in my comments, in my DMs, you know, like either agreeing with me or like, I'm not gonna say taking offense, but kind of, you know,
they was getting contentious with
if you bash the thing that everybody's doing, that's a few people are gonna be like, well, hey man, you know,
yeah,
don't come at me. I'm just, you know, but for me, it was never that. It's fun, you know, and then there has to be that has to be reminded, that has to be remembered. Things can just be fun too, you know.
Right.
Everything is at the end of the world. Everything, and I had to come to grips with that. Like I had to be told that. Like,
right.
Me and my homie were talking, and he had to explain to me so I could just view it differently. Because I can be real, you know, against the world, you know, like real, like, you know,
Change is difficult, yeah.
Real emotional against the world, because you know, we use that to make our art so much. But
I'm glad you gained that level of perspective because I'm about to piss you off again. So let's talk about the stats here. Because it is just fun, right? But it's fun to the tune of $4, as Gabe found out on his journey this morning. Yeah. And after 13.5 million installs in the first 2 weeks of December, $29.3 million in the first 12 days of December. That means on Monday, they had $29.3 million before they took Weekend Gabe's $4 here. So, I mean, like when you hear something like that, that's gotta, I mean, understandably gotta piss you off.
Well, I think of some things first, and then I get pissed off. First, I think of, I wonder if any way, shape, or form, in any way possible, in any realm, perspective, any way possible, if any of those artists were paid at all. So, I think of that first. That's my first thought.
What I do know about these data sets and how they're generated is that they're opted in. So an artist willingly gave their photo. They probably got paid some minimal sum of money to do that, to include their art as part of the data set. But to answer your question, they're not seeing not a penny of that 29.3 million.
Yeah, there's no kickback for that.
There's no kickback for that. There was a contract when you uploaded your image, but I don't think you're getting royalties here.
Mm. Yeah, that's a kick in the balls. For every artist across the world.
For sure.
You know, art is an interesting business. You know, you can become a millionaire through your own means, pretty much. Normally, I'd say history tells, you need to be represented by a few high-ranking galleries and all of these things in your world, and your work just has to gain so much momentum across the world. It has to really be a part of history, political movements, things of that nature. And you might start to, reach a level of true financial stability when it comes to selling art. That's hard to do, man. It's rare. Like,
and not only is it rare, you're talking about some of the paintings that are hanging in the Art Institute. Van Gogh didn't see the wealth off of those Van Goghs once they were sold. You know what I mean? Like,
most of them didn't.
It was Van Gogh's brother who promoted his whole shit.
Right. That's the harder part, and even today, like, there's artists Instagram is great. That's why I love Instagram, because it definitely is given the opportunity for artists to eat. Like, there's billions of people in the world that should allow you to connect with people that a gallery might have been able to do for you, but now you can do it for yourself if you just stay consistent, post your work. You can make money, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But to get to that, those true millions, like, where your work is going for like 1.2 million and 6.5 million and, the 3.2 billion, like, when your shit's getting up there, that's hard to do. So to see that this app generated, it's almost like they sold a painting in a week that was worth $29 million.
Yeah.
And there's art that's worth that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely out there. There are some millionaire artists that are living today and are working and are active. You know what I'm saying? But there's not many, and it's not impossible to do. But seeing that, hearing that, is definitely like a good horse kick to the nuts. Like, just right in there, right between the eyes.
As we wind down, Jeff, I want to ask this question, and I just so your thought about this: that every industry is eventually threatened by technology, AI. We saw it with taxi drivers when Uber came out, and how people felt about that. And then obviously with the music industry and how that destroyed mom and pop stores because of we didn't no longer needed them, right? So it just changed. The industry just changed. People did lose their jobs, lose their businesses because the model had evolved. But that's just sort of part of evolution, right? So do you feel like that this is just part of our development as a society, that there's going to be this alternative art that's digitally made by computers, and there's going to be a comfort level to that, but that's not going to be necessarily a threat to you or others like you, but just something that we're going to have to come to coexist with?
I mean, it's essentially, I agree with that. I think it is definitely something we're just gonna have to coexist with, because one thing I have learned about art is that we put value in it as human beings, and a robot cannot hold value in anything. It's only trained and programmed to do what it's doing. Artificial intelligence, as it evolves, we're definitely gonna have to revisit that conversation. But
right,
I think it's just something that we're gonna have to get used to. But I really do feel like the bottom line is art will always have such a supreme value in this world. Because I'll go back to the historical implications and the historical correlation with art. It'll always have value. It'll always be super expensive because it's connected to our history. It's connected to us as a people. And AI is human created. So say AI art does go crazy, right? It just starts, being way, way more, valuable. What's gonna happen is that shit gonna become super expensive. And then we'll be in the same damn place that we're at now, possibly. You know what I'm saying? This is just me giving a scenario. Say AI art does become the thing, and that shit's just gonna be taxed even more. Anything that gains popularity and love gets taxed in this world. You know what I'm saying? In this country, capitalism is real. I benefit off of it, so I don't hate it, but I do see the worries in it. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely something to think about because the more popular it gets, the more value is as a race that we'll put into it, and then that in turn might lead to financial value, and then everybody's complaining about the same shit again. Like, oh, your art's too expensive. Like, oh, sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want it. I know you do. So it's gonna be the same thing. Like that instant gratification. This is just the age we're in, and then accepting that also, accepting that the age this is the instant gratification age, and as an artist, you have to just work. You have to work through that, like because art is not an instant gratification career.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can do a hella paintings and won't see a dime from them shits, maybe for 3 or 4 years. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
No, yeah.
And that's why we make so much art. That's why we're constantly creating. That's why we're constantly showing our art online, because it's, it take a long time to sell.
Yeah,
sure.
Nah, I think that puts a nice bow on it, man, because my last 3 questions are where do we go from here and what's next for AI. I think you put a nice bow on that. But I didn't mean to depress you this evening, my friend. So as the final question here, let's have some fun. Since we're moving to an iRobot style society, if you had your own iRobot from the movie iRobot from 2004, starring Will Smith, first off, would you own one? Second off, what tasks would you have it do for you if you did own one?
So I was born in 1993. So God. I grew up with technology. I love technology. I think it's really cool. So yes, fuck yes, I'd have a fucking yes. Yeah. I'd have an iRobot. And you know what I have to do? Yeah, guess what? You know what I have to do? I have it roll my weed. I have it clean my bone. I'd have it chop. I'll have it do the chopping for my girl. Remember in the movie when he was chopping up the apple?
Yeah, he was.
My lady always needs help getting her food together, so I'd have it do that. I'd have it go to work for me. Drive Uber for me. Ooh, yeah, I'd have it drive Uber for me while I'm at work. No, better idea. I'd have it drive Uber for me while I'm painting, so I can just make money. And then I'll have it come home and paint for me.
Yeah. And then you'd sell it for $29.3 million.
I'd fucking sell it. Yeah, that's what I do, damn it. Yeah, great. Perfect.
Oh, man.
You took it right out. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, listen, when MIT comes up with those new robots, like 20 years, I'm definitely copping one. That's all I'm saying.
I'll cop one. Look, hey, look, my girl don't want. My girl's like, hell no. I get it.
That's what motherfuckers were saying about the iPhone when it first came out. They were like, "But my cell phone makes calls." Yeah, but it don't do
You
what
don't do this,
motherfucker
though.
does, you know?
Right. Facts. Yeah.
Well, once you get accustomed to some shit, you can't go back. You know,
Nah.
there's no going back.
True. That's true. That's human. That's the human way.
All right. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us to talk about this very important topic of digital AI art. We appreciate you jumping on with us twice this year. One of many few that have reached that accomplishment. So you're in
Twice in
rare
a calendar
air.
year, man. Like even Mother Nature didn't get that. You know, like that's crazy.
Oh yeah, we did it in January, right?
Yeah.
No, was it January?
Yeah, no, it was,
Yeah,
January. It was
LA.
right after we did the 100th episode.
Oh
We took
yeah!
a little
Wow!
time
Yeah,
off
look
and
at that.
Came back with Jeff.
I love it. I love the full circle about that. That's fantastic.
Look
I love
at
the way
that.
this worked out.
I love the alignment, man. Y'all are dope. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are some super dope interviewers. Y'all always give me great questions, great energy. It was great having you at Thinking Paint, bro. For real.
Hey man, we had fun. And you know, to your credit, we should plug that real quick. Because that's how you touch this next generation, right? You know, this is how you treat or teach them the importance and the hard work that goes into art. It was an absolutely amazing experience to do that with you. My girl was here with her mom. We was all in there. So and credit goes to your lady as well because the food was absolutely spectacularly delicious.
Yeah.
So get up with Jeff and his Thinking Paint. You got a new song dropping soon too, right?
Yeah. New song dropping tomorrow, actually.
Word? All right, let's go.
Yeah. Midnight, actually. So got new music coming out. We got Thinking Paints happening every month. We got a lot of stuff lined up for 2023. So just stay tuned and keep you up to date for sure.
All right, phenomenal. Jeff, if we don't see you before the end of the new year, please have a great holiday and have a happy new year. Thank you so much for supporting our show and being a great guest for us as always.
Man, thank y'all very, very much for having me. Appreciate y'all. Happy holidays to both y'all. Enjoy the family.
You too.
Peace.
All right, Jeff Koons joining us here tonight on Weekend at Gabe's AI Art, man. Listen,
I think we had a really well-rounded conversation there.
Yeah,
and I think everybody learned something. So you know that was worth it. And Jeff, to his credit, as a member of the Gr8Thinkaz, this should not have to be said, but he is a great mind, a great contemporary mind in this city. So it's always good to get his take.
I feel bad because I don't know what the pressure of getting kicked in the nuts is for those $4 I spent. So
yeah, you felt a little bad. Once you started sending me the pictures, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna piss him off." You know? As soon as I tell him that number, he's gonna be
I was like, yeah, like getting kicked in the balls, like $4 worth of getting kicked in the balls. I'm not sure what that feels like, but that sucks. I'm sorry, man. But we had to do it for the second. It had to be done. But to be fair, like I am not continuing the $40 a year annual fee.
Yeah, cancel that shit. I mean, it's like any of those fads, you know. We didn't get an opportunity to talk about data and Facetune. Do you remember Facetune?
I remember Facetune was a bit tape or some shit that people turned in like 8-bit, and then they were like comic book threads.
Yeah.
I remember that bullshit. That shit was going crazy, and then the next thing just sort of like. I think this is gonna be like we're gonna see this for like a month or so. Everyone's gonna run through
different fads. You know what I mean? It's like what I will say about Lensa is they created a cool thing for a month. I guarantee you they will not be making 29.3 million in the month of January. I promise you that's not going to happen. At the same time, like there will be new AI art and how we react to that is important. I think Jeff touched on a lot of that.
Yeah.
I think they built a thing that's fun, like we talked about, but they ain't built one of these. You know what I'm saying? But that's not to say somebody's going to build one of these, and then it might be some more implications there.
My last thought on this, because I was listening to a pod today about this, and Apple and Facebook are working on their own versions of this. So brace yourself.
Coming around the corner, man. We come a long way from filters.
There you go.
Thanks for watching this latest episode. We hope that you enjoyed it. If you're looking for more, click on any of the episodes swirling around my head. And also, don't forget to follow us on the socials at Weekend Gabe, at Weekend at Gabe's, and also at The Real Sam Crane. All right, thanks for watching, y'all.